Welcome to Film Tech and Finance, where we explore the cutting-edge technology and financial strategies driving the film industry today.
Welcome to Film Tech and Finance. I'm your host, Konstantinos Kovanis. Today, it is a true privilege to introduce our next guest. She is a powerhouse in the independent film world, a multi-hyphenate producer, actor, and the president of Via Mantra Productions. As the vice chair of the Garden State Film Festival and the visionary creator behind Festival Fixer, she has dedicated her career to helping filmmakers navigate the complex journey from production to prestigious festivals. Please join me in welcoming the ultimate film festival insider, Heather Brittain.
Thank you so much, Konstantinos. That was quite an introduction and a nice way to start my day.
Nice. We do a little research. I try to do a little research of the people that I talk to.
Appreciate it.
We know who we're talking to. So tell us a little bit about everything, the Festival Fixer, and what exactly do you do, and
Great.
what exactly everything. Just tell us.
Okay. Well, as you mentioned, I'm Heather Brittain. I am an indie filmmaker and I am a working festival programmer. As you mentioned, I serve as vice chair of the board at the Garden State Film Festival. And what pulled me into this work and why I started my company, Film Festival Insider, was really my own festival experiences. I ran my own films through the circuit, and I started to notice a pattern that a lot of filmmakers fall into, that I call it the local loop. They keep submitting to the same few festivals. They build community. They get validation. And that part is genuinely valuable. But their festival run isn't always creating lift. It's not always translating into new opportunities or to press or to funding for their next projects or to representation or just keep them moving forward. And then at the same time, on the programming side, I'd see really strong films get passed over all the time, not because the film was necessarily bad, but because the submission just wasn't positioned well. The materials didn't do the film justice. The festival wasn't maybe the right fit, or the filmmaker's goals just didn't match the festivals that they were targeting. And so that kind of disconnect between talent and traction is what led me to create Film Festival Insider and eventually Festival Fixer. I just became obsessed with helping filmmakers move from I'm just submitting and seeing where it lands to I'm submitting with intention and I'm moving my career forward.
Nice. Yeah, it's amazing because me as a filmmaker, that's the biggest problem we have is how to get your work out there. And festivals sometimes, as you said, because most people know just a few like the most known festivals. And sometimes there's very big festivals, very hard to get into.
Sure.
Or very expensive.
Lottery ticket festivals.
Exactly. Yeah. And then even if you get in sometimes, if your film is not for that festival, you're not going to be happy of the outcome.
Yeah.
And you'll think then that the festivals are not good when technically you didn't go in the right film festival. You weren't prepared for it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what exactly would you do? Let's say you talk to a producer or a director or somebody that has a film.
Mm-hmm.
How do you work with them and how do you get them to the right festival?
Right. Okay. So, with my one-on-one clients, because I have different ways that filmmakers can work with me, but let's just, for simplicity, start with the one-on-one clients. I'll watch their film. Obviously, there's, as much as AI can be a great help and it is a tool that's not going anywhere, having human eyes on a project is a big thing. And then it's interesting too, when you have eyes on your project that aren't so attached to it, what they can see. So I often see where this film might fit. I see it as a genre that maybe the filmmaker doesn't see it as. It's interesting. It just provides more opportunities to get that film in front of audiences that may appreciate it, that the filmmaker may have never thought of before. Like you put that on a poster, that goes so far in compelling people to want to see your film. It's all about marketing and positioning your film to make people want to see it. Because it helps you get into a festival, but also once you get into that festival, that's an opportunity to build a fan base, to make people want to come see your film, get those butts in those seats, and then have them ask you the questions at the Q&A after, and follow your next journey, be on board for your next project, maybe be an investor for your next project. You just never know who you're going to inspire with your work. But it all starts with getting the right eyes on it.
Nice. So you usually work with people that have a finished product, or do you consult people so that want to create a movie and what to do with it and how to prepare it?
So it's usually, if it's not finished, it's close to finished. And maybe I'll guide them towards some last steps, help them with their final edit. whatever phase they are with their project. But no, they have to have a film pretty close to ready to submit to make sense to come to me. Look, is it a good idea to have your festival circuit in mind when you go into production with your film? Sure, absolutely. I think the more you're thinking about the marketing and the positioning of your film from the early stages, from just having a photographer on set, the more it's going to help you when you're actually getting ready to birth it into the world. But yeah, my clients are ready to start festivals when they come to me, or maybe they're already in the middle of festivals and sometimes they're just feeling a little stuck. I help with that too.
And the way you work with your customers, is it like a retainer base, or is it a one-time fee, or is it per project? How does it work usually?
Yeah, so it's a one-time fee. So look, there are some festival consultants where you can give them the entire project and they submit it and they manage it for you. And maybe they give you like a report of what they're doing. I am not that. I am really about empowering filmmakers not only to do it themselves, but to understand the whys and the methodologies of what's going to help them create that traction. So it's just a repeatable process for them that they can use with every film that they use going forward. But I really want to help them understand just all of the intricacies of the whole positioning project, the FilmFreeway pages, the IMDb pages, the letterbox page, which is something that's kind of newer in this space, but is really taking over. It's become so important for independent filmmakers. And if you don't control your own narrative and create your own letterboxed profile and TMDB profile, if a reviewer sees your film and decides to write a review about it and you haven't already set up your page, that very first review that goes in becomes your synopsis for your film and you can't change it. So
right, correct.
If you hope it's a good one.
Right. Yeah, of course. Yeah. And then,
but if it's not, it's really, you just want to control your own narrative every step of the way. And so that's where I step in. So you can hire me and basically it's like Zoom sessions. So one at a time as needed. You may only need one or two to kind of feel like you're off on your own and then maybe touch base in a couple months. So different filmmakers have different levels of need. They're at different places in their festival journey. Maybe they're entirely new to the film festival world, or maybe they've done a few film festivals and they just haven't gotten the traction they wanted. So I work from filmmakers that are brand new to those that are more experienced and just really want more leverage, more momentum, because festival runs are not cheap. They are expensive. They are time consuming. So why not make the most out of it? Save yourself a little money by avoiding some of the wrong festivals, but then make the most out of your opportunities once you are accepted. So that is one of the ways. I also built an online course called Insider Track. So basically I broke it down into 42 chapters, if you will, like video chapters of me talking. There are some materials that people can download, trackers, like instructional cheats, things like that. So I built that online course. And that's another way. It's interesting. I have a lot of filmmakers that they're coming to film as another profession. So I have a lot of really brilliant clients, whether they're doctors or attorneys or accountants or whatever their profession was before. And then they come to me and they're like, I made this film about this thing that I'm passionate about. And I want to know what to do with it. And those are some of my favorite clients because a lot of filmmakers are artist forward. They lead with the heart. And then the life experience and or the business acumen was just something that is not a part of their thought process so much. So, but people with more life experience, when they come to me with these projects, because whether at some point you develop the business side of your brain, whether it's something that's kind of innate or it's something through learned experience. Some of those are my favorite clients because they're like, how do I get this done? How do I cut the time? I don't have years that I want to figure this out. Just tell me what I got. I got it. So those people, Insider Track is really great for because they just want to know it. They want to understand it. Okay, tell me what's next. They got all the chapters. They can go back and revisit something if they need to. Though Insider Track is built for that. But then I also built a festival fixer, so I used my IP, my intellectual property from Insider Track, and I trained an AI with my IP, but then also with my methodologies, the same way that I work with my clients, I trained an AI to basically be me. So she has my brain in a sense downloaded and then just my methodologies that I use.
Nice.
So that's Festival Fixer. So she's relatively new. She was featured in Variety a couple months ago. She's the first of her kind ever in the world, the first AI film festival strategist. And it's incredible. What she can do is basically my brain at lightning speed. And she has access to all the updated, dates of the festival submissions on FilmFreeway and all the things. So it's incredible what she can do. Helps filmmakers target the right festivals for their film, avoid the scam festivals, which is a big one, really come up with a submission plan, like the order in which they should submit, to what to be cautious of as far as which festival might cancel out another, as far as if it canceled out, if you screen there, then you're going to ruin your premiere status there. But look, you don't know you're going to get into Festival A. So maybe you still want to try Festival B, but she helps you think through that whole process. And so it's just less overwhelming. The questions are answered. And it's much more affordable for independent filmmaker budgets because let's face it, most indie film budgets don't account for a film festival strategist in there, So it's just, and plus she's available 24/7, around the clock when you got like a million tabs open on your computer and FilmFreeway is making your eyes bleed. She's just there to swoop in and just kind of give you the answers right there on the spot and help you breathe a little easier and maybe go to bed earlier.
Yeah, nice. Well, congratulations that since it's the first. And actually, that was one of the questions that I was going to ask you because everybody's asking for AI. But do you think this app, well, you designed it, you created it, and it's based on you pretty much. But is this going to replace you or is it supplementing you? How do you see that? Is it is it created to help you do better work or is it, so you don't do work?
So I do actually use it now because it helps me just do my work more quickly when I'm doing like research for clients. So it's great. So does it replace me? Look, AI is never going to replace, like I said, having human eyes on your project. It's never going to replace that. But I only have so many hours in a day. Filmmakers only have so much reserved for their festival runs in that budget. So I don't see it as replacing me. I'm not worried about that at all. Honestly, I feel like it just makes festival strategy more accessible to all the filmmakers. Like forever, it's been just this mysterious thing. Like you just submit into a void and you hope you get in. And a lot of times you just can't see the rhyme or reason to why this film got in and that one didn't. And so really it's supposed to remove some of that. Like, gatekeeping is like a trending word right now, but there is a lot of gatekeeping. There is a lot of velvet ropes that people feel like they just can't. How do I get there? I want to belong there. I want to feel like I belong there. And it's really just designed to remove that and make strategy and consultants more accessible on the indie film budget. So I'm really excited. I believe genuinely it will really change the way filmmakers submit, saving them time, saving them money. We wear so many hats as independent filmmakers. Like we are scrappy. We're doing it all. We are the copywriter. We are the editor. We are our own publicists. We are, it's exhausting. And, when we're on a film set, we got our film family and yay, we made a film and everybody's so happy. But then, you hit, martini shot and, I'll often be there with a bottle of champagne ready to celebrate. My crew's already packing up. Like, yeah, we got to go. We're like,
yeah, exactly.
So, look, we're all exhausted by the end of the shoot. So we try to have our wrap parties a few weeks later so that, we can actually catch up on sleep. But as far as the film festival runs, a lot of time it's just one or two people from the film that's actually showing up to these screenings. So it becomes a very lonely thing doing that. So it's another team member, let's say, another person to brainstorm with, a partner in crime. She's not going to hold your purse while you're on the red carpet, but she's going to help you get there.
Right. That's amazing. Yeah. And a lot of people don't understand that making a film is one thing, but how do you get it out there is another, right? And then that's when you feel that your film is a success. You might have the perfect film, perfect story, but as you said, if you're the only person that saw it, doesn't matter. This is how it is. And I love the way you use AI because I think that's the way that we should use AI to make our life better, easier. And if you have a service, to have it more accessible. Because as you said, filmmakers, that's very important. I mean, they don't have a lot of money, most of them.
Yeah.
Okay, there's some rich people out there, but most of them don't. And most of them do it because they have a passion. So if you make it easier, I'm guessing more affordable to use the AI platform, it's a lot better. I guess that would attract more indie film makers to work with you.
Yeah.
I have one other question is, you said film festivals. Is it only in the US or do you also work with film festivals outside the US? Like if somebody wants to go to Canada or Europe?
Worldwide. I'm a big, as a filmmaker myself, I'm a big fan of getting my film into the world, going to those festivals in other parts of the world. You just never know where you're going to find your next collaborator, your audience. Great. Different countries have different senses of humor. Same joke's not going to land the same way.
Right.
So it's really fun. It's just, I love seeing my film in front of all different audiences because sometimes I didn't even think something was funny and people are laughing. I'm like, wait.
Yeah.
But also it's good to hear it in front of different audiences because if there's a joke that's not landing in front of any audiences, maybe it's time to revisit that edit,
Right.
Another great reason to get in front of audiences is it's just we're once you export your film and it's going to festivals, that doesn't have to be the final version. You could make it better. So that's an opportunity as well. But yeah, I can work with clients from all over the world. Sybil Fixer works all over the world. And in every language. So in some ways she's better than me, but don't tell her I don't want her to get a big head. But yeah, and look, and another point in it all is besides going all over the world and having it be accessible and avoiding the scam festivals, because by the way, there are just so many of those.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned that filmmakers don't have a lot of money. Some of them do. So some of them that do, oftentimes those are films that are backed by Hollywood studios. So they're going, and you're competing against these, indie films in name only. And this is just another way to just kind of level the playing field, like just to make it more fair, more equitable. Like, okay, maybe I can't afford a publicist, but now I can find the publications that are in this region where I'm going to be screening, and I can write a press release tailored to this specific festival, to my specific film, and maybe stand a better chance of having one of those publications pick it up. So just getting more SEO, getting your film out there.
Nice. One other thing is, just from my perspective also, do you actually communicate with the festivals, or is it something you let us know? For example, I'm a creator, right? I have a film. Do you just give me a list of the festivals that I should go, or do you actually do the communication for us?
So I'll give you a list of festivals that you should go to if I have, for my clients, if it's a one-on-one client. If I have a relationship with that festival and I have a filmmaker that submits, because again, it's my filmmakers that do the submitting at the end of the day. I say, let me know if you, submit to XYZ festivals, and I will let them know to keep an eye out for it. Is that going to increase your chances? Probably not, because look, it helps if you know someone at a festival, but at the end of the day, they're still going to program what they're going to program. If it's between two films that they're equally great, but they're like, oh, but my friend made this one's got these are the instances when it can help. The film still has to be worthy. It still has to be good. It still has to be a good fit for that festival. But yes, to answer your question, if I have a relationship with a festival, I do give them a heads up that one of my clients has submitted and this is the name of the film, and thanks for taking a look at it.
Nice. Okay. And then just for, again, for our viewers, what is a way for a producer or director or somebody that has a film to have something like a ROI? I don't know if it's the right thing to say on a festival. So let's say I go to a festival. What should I expect? Is it just, filling up the stage, or is it, trying to sell it then later on to somebody, or try to help with the distribution later?
Yeah. So that's a great question. And, it's going to depend on what the filmmaker's goals are. Not every filmmaker has the same goals. So some people are trying to get it out there in the world and actually just make money by people having them watch it, whether it's picked up by a distributor, whether they get representation from it. Some people are just trying to meet other filmmakers so they can find collaborators for their next project. So different filmmakers have different goals. Different festivals have different strengths. Not all festivals are created equal. If you're just looking for local filmmakers in your local community, maybe you do want to submit to those festivals and more heavily on them. So you have more opportunities to run into those same filmmakers and strengthen those relationships. But, there are festivals. There are festivals that maybe seem smaller, but they get great press. They do a really good job with press somehow. Genre festivals tend to be really good with press, even the smaller ones, because just the genre community is just thirsty for great new content. They're excited about like everything that comes out. So when you find your audience, you're also going to find, the press that's interested. So, and then a lot of festivals have agencies that are watching the features behind the scenes. So maybe they don't have as big of a presence at the festival themselves, but they're looking at the features and looking for potential clients to represent, potential new clients.
Do you set up expectations for your clients or what to expect or what should they expect at this specific festival? Or is it something
if it's knowledgeable, there's some festivals,
right.
if I am aware of it, absolutely. There's some festivals that will promote that they have CAA in attendance. There are other festivals where they don't necessarily promote it, but I know that CAA has a relationship there and is probably watching their films. So it just depends.
They
don't always promote it as well. But another thing, as far as agencies go, and just as a side note, if you're trying to get representation for your film, know what your next projects are. Have them already written if you can, or have treatments for them or whatever it is. Because if a big agency sees your film, they're going to call you in their office and they're going to say, what are you working on next? Because they don't want a one-hit wonder. They want to know that they are getting on board or bringing somebody on board with whom they're going to have multiple projects, a long-term cash flow, if you will.
Right, yeah.
So, while yes, you want to be at the festival and some filmmakers don't want to talk about what they're working on next, they just want to celebrate the moment, and that's great. But if you're marketing and positioning yourself, be ready to talk about what you're working on next.
Perfect. What is your take about the online film festivals? Because I've seen some of those. I don't know. Those are, when I first heard of them, it was like, okay, so what, you create a YouTube channel and you're just throwing, stuff on there. But yeah, what's that take? Because that's a little, I don't know. Well, what do you think about that?
So look, when COVID hit, it was great. My own festival, the Garden State Film Festival, we take place at the end of March, and our state, New Jersey, locked down about 2 weeks before our festival. And we pivoted super fast, and we have a great tech team, and we created our own streaming platform. So this was before festivals were even doing that, really. And we broadcast it live. We live streamed our festival. So it wasn't a YouTube channel. It wasn't a thing you could go back and watch later. It was like, this is when the films were scheduled to screen. This is when we're doing it. And look, it was a nice way to bring the people together when the world was just so scared and it was such a weird time. Since then, a lot of film festivals still have an online component. So they'll present in person and also present online. I think that can be good. Like I love to get a chance to watch the Sundance films if I'm not going to be able to be in attendance, and to know what's actually landing, at some of these festivals. So I think that's a great opportunity when it's a simultaneous thing. When it's exclusively online, for the most part, and look, maybe there are some that are the exception, but I'd say for the most part, it's a laurels thing. People are getting laurels. They say, I got into this festival. And you can watch it here online, and the festival makes money, but you don't get the interaction with the audience. You don't get to hear that live audience feedback if those jokes are landing or if that jump scare was actually scary. You don't get to hear that. You don't get to make the connections with the other filmmakers in the room, which is really the biggest value, I think, to attending film festivals in person. Like when you have a business card, let's just say your film is a really expensive business card. I use this analogy all the time. It's a really freaking expensive business card. If you are handing your business card to me in person and I take it and I look you in the eyes, I'm going to remember you with your card much better. As opposed to if you dump your business card into a big fishbowl, maybe somebody will fish it out, but they're not going to associate you. It raises your profile in people's memories. It raises your reputation as a filmmaker by presenting in person with your film. So online film festivals to me are just kind of missing the point.
Right. Perfect. Yeah. I mean, that's the way I see it too, because as you said, first of all, you don't have, you can get some feedback from online viewers and stuff like that, but that's something that's a completely different thing. That's like your online presence with social media, right? You can put a post up there and see something, but it's not the same as that. Perfect. Okay. And so where can people find you right now? Like, what's the easiest way if somebody that views our show find you and ask for your service?
Yes, come find me. FilmFestivalInsider.com is my website. There are links to Festival Fixer up there, Insider Track, and also ways to book me one-on-one if you want to, or just sign up. I have a free newsletter that goes out every week, kind of a bite-sized snippets from the news and kind of my take on what's going on with festivals and how you can use this latest, news headline, what you can learn from it as an indie filmmaker and apply that to your own festival run. So I do that weekly newsletter, so you can sign up for that. I'm on social media at the Heather Britt. So yeah, come find me.
Perfect. Yes, I've subscribed and we'll subscribe in everything you do. And then on our website, everything's going to be there so people can find you.
Yep.
That's something we're building also because this podcast is kind of new too. So we're actually building everything.
Great. Well, I love what you're doing. And it's a great opportunity to meet other filmmakers and hear of their experiences. And you're doing great. Keep going, Constantinos.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you. Okay, perfect. We got everything we needed, I think, right now. All the information. Please keep us updated on anything new you do or any updates or any milestones because you're creating stuff. So you created this AI and I'm sure it's going to change.
Yes, I'm in the process of making some fun changes to it. But yeah, it's going great.
Perfect. Great. Okay. Thanks for being with us and all the information you gave us. And I'm sure a lot of people from my side can communicate with you because, we might, right? We have some projects in our lined up to do. So that's something, but we don't want to announce nothing yet either.
Make moves, not announcements.
Perfect. Yeah. Great. Thank you. Thanks again for being with us. And
thanks for having me.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on Film Tech and Finance. Don't forget to follow and subscribe for more insights and updates.